Hi, I'm Lesley from The Beck, and this is part 3 of my reading series. And this video is all about how to set up literature circles, otherwise known as book club, in your classroom. So I have found book club to be a really valuable tool in my classroom. It's an extension and the next step on from guided reading. It really helps to support students who need that intellectual stretch and really need to practice talking and having conversations about their books. And it's more fun and it's engaging. It's a lot less work on the teacher and it brings responsibility to the kids to take some accountability and ownership over their learning when it comes to their reading. And those are all great things that we love to have in the classroom. Okay, so I'm going to show you the steps of what book club is all about and how to implement it into your classroom. So let's get started. So what is book club? Book club is the next stage after guided reading. So it's led by students and not the teacher. Students within a group choose a text together based on their interest. Each student gets allocated a role within the group, and then students read the text independently and then come back to discuss it based on their role. Some of the roles include a director, a connector, a storyteller, word detective, a quizmaster, an interviewer. These are just some examples. You can really have any kind of roles you want as long as it's based around some sort of reading comprehension. So book club is proven to work really well for those students sitting in the middle bands of achievement, those ones that are kind of just achieving the benchmark. And what it does is it stretches them and pulls them up into those significantly higher bands where they are significantly achieving above benchmark. So to get you started, here are some top tips for helping you put book club into your classroom. It takes at least a term for students to understand how to do the roles properly, so take your time and don't stress about it. Make sure it's done right. 5 in a group is plenty, and to be honest, I think 4 is better. They find it hard to manage themselves otherwise. Start with smaller pieces of one-page text and short stories, rather than jumping straight into novels. Have bookmarks that are laminated for students explaining their roles and what they need to do. And similarly, give students specific note-taking sheets to help them scaffold and support the things they're going to write about and then discuss. And lastly, cannot stress this enough, model, model, model. Students find it hard to know what a book club discussion looks like. So when you see students doing it really well, get them to model, or even better, video them doing it and continuously show the class this is what we're aiming for. And even better, model it yourself. All right, so let's look at structure. So here now are the 4 stages to help you implement a book club into your classroom. So the first stage of book club is teaching the roles. So teach one role over about 1 to 3 weeks, depending on how many lessons you have each week. And use the writing templates with the students to help them record their ideas and kind of keep them on track with what they're doing. All students are learning the same role at this stage and they're all reading the same text. There are no groups set up just yet. And don't forget when you're teaching to model. So stage 2 is practicing the roles. So you can move now to 10 to 15 minute sessions per day. Start off with short poems, 1-page passages from stories, just really short pieces of text that you can do really quickly. Start your groups if you want to, you don't have to. And at this stage, all groups are using the same text, practicing kind of 2 to 3 roles at a time and then swapping it around so they get a chance to practice all the roles. Find students who are doing it really well and get them to model to the rest of the class. And don't forget to keep using the writing templates and check in regularly as a class to make sure everyone's on the right track. And don't forget to model. Stage 3 is getting students to consolidate and refine their understanding of book club. So you can start to move to 15 to 30 minute sessions. It's up to you how many you want to do per week. Groups can now start practicing 3 to 4 roles at a time, and they can use a short story which is a couple of pages long. They can keep using the same short story over a number of weeks or sessions, swapping roles as they go through each time, so they get a chance to practice each role using the same short story. The whole class can be using the same short story at this stage, or you can find a number of different ones. It's up to you. Keep using those writing templates to help the kids consolidate their knowledge of what they're supposed to be doing, and at at this stage, you can start to minimize your class check-ins and begin to shift over to independent work. And don't forget, keep finding those kids who are doing it really well and use yourself to model. Lastly, students can now move into the independent book club study. So the book club study can go from any time between 5 weeks up to 10 weeks, depending on the kind of learners you have and the difficulty of the texts that they choose. So they are now working in student-led groups, and we are at the stage where there should be no more teaching and just some minimal check-ins from the teacher just to make sure they're all on the right track. So how I like to do it in my classroom is I offer a number of different novels for students to read. They pick what they want to read, and then they form a group with other students who want to read the same thing. At this stage, they are using all the roles and they are using the writing templates independently to make their own notes. So I like to structure my book club somewhat like this. All students meet for the first time and choose a place where they're going to read to, maybe 1 chapter or 2 chapters. All the reading is done independently, not in the group together. The students will go away for about 2 weeks. They can do it in lesson time, or you can do it as part of homework, where they read the novel and take notes on their writing templates. They come back after those 2 weeks and do their book club discussion. From there, they'll then swap roles, decide the next place that they're going to read to, maybe chapters 3 and 4, go away and repeat the process again. So they do all the pre-work independently, but then come back to talk about the novel as a group. The independent stuff, as I said, can be done over a number of lessons during the week, or it can be using some homework time as well. And don't forget, when you see kids doing it really well, get them to model. So what are the kids reading for book club? Great question. If you have those class novel sets of books that the kids like to read, that's fabulous. But I do know that in lots of schools, the copies are missing, broken, maybe the story is a little bit outdated, so maybe that's not a great option for you. If your school has things such as Epic Reading, Myon, Sunshine Classics, any kind of e-based book system, they are also excellent alternatives to use for book club. All kids have a copy of them and they only cost you the license of the software. So that was book club in a nutshell. In my experience, the kids find it really fun. The ability to be able to choose their own text in the group makes it really engaging for them, and the fact that they have to come to the group with their role makes them accountable for their learning. Oh, and lastly, did I mention how important it is to model what you want the students to be able to do? And that's the video for today. So that was my final video in my 3-part reading series. I really hope you learned something from it. Don't forget to check out part 1, which was how to just create a balanced general reading program, and part 2, which was all about how to do effective guided reading. You'll find the links to both those videos in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to know when all my new videos are released. Please leave me some comments down below and let me know how this has gone in your classroom, or if you have any other tips for other teachers out there. Please feel free to share this video with all your teacher friends. Thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day.